What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a look at the FAQ for OP-08. OP-08 is coming out this weekend over in Japan. We've seen all the cards from the set. The only thing that's left is to talk about the rules, so that's what we're going to do. So starting off then, we've got the leader, Tony Chopper. Got a rather lovely skill that lets you attach one rested Don to each of 3 of your characters, as long as they're Drum Kingdom or Animal. And the question is, can you give one character more than one Don? No. It's 1 to each of 3. That is the best you've got. I'm sorry. Chess Marimo's got a lovely skill, whereby if you've got a Kura Marimo and a Chess in your trash, it gains 2,000 power. Makes sense in the context of the manga. Well, if I've got another Chess Marimo, i.e. this card, in the trash, do I get 2,000 power? No. You have to have the separate cards, Kura Marimo and Chess, to get an extra 2k. Having another Chess Marimo will not get you the 2k. Sorry about that. Wapol's got a skill, Don X1. When attacking, one of your opponent's characters loses 2,000 power for the turn, and this character gains 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. Okay, well, if my opponent has no characters on the field, do I still get the plus 2,000 power? The answer is yes. You essentially try doing both bits at the same time, and whatever works, works. Now, Eating Binge is the way one of these cards has been Google translated. I'm going to go with that. And it's a main counter. One of your opponent's characters gets minus 3,000 power during this turn, and then one of your characters gets plus 3,000 power during this turn. Same ruling, same answer. If my opponent has no characters on the field, do I still get the plus 3k because I can't minus them? Yes. Yes, you do, and life is good. Now, Electric Luna is an event card coming around in green. Apparently, that we don't need to talk about any characters in green. And we've got all opponents' rested characters with a cost of 7 or less do not activate during your opponent's next refresh phase. Well, if an opponent's character has a cost of 7 or less and is active when I play this card, but then becomes rested by other methods, does it become active or not? It will become active. Essentially, the deal here is any characters cost of 7 or less that are in play when Electric Luna is played don't become active during the next refresh phase, but any that are played afterwards or are already in play but become rested afterwards are not targeted when the card is played, so will become active even though this card has been played. I will not sell my comrades to the enemies. Another event card in green. And it's got a main where you rest 2 of your characters, and then none of your characters can be KO'd by your opponent's effects until the end of your opponent's next turn. Same question as before, same answer. What about characters that come into play after this card has been played? No, they can be KO'd. You're good. Again, the card only affects characters that are in play when the card is played. Now, Zoe, or Elephant, is the new green stage, and it's got a skill whereby you may rest this stage, and if your leader has the Minx type, set one of your Don to active. It's got a second skill, at the end of your turn, up to one of your Minx characters becomes active. Well, what if my leader isn't Minx? Do I still get to make a Minx active at the end of my turn? The answer is yes. The Minx leader is only needed for the first of the 2 skills. The second skill is regardless of what leader you might have. Now, Atmos comes around in this set, and we've got a rather lovely skill, whereby on play you reveal 2 cards from your hand with Whitebeard Pirates in their type. And if your leader is Whitebeard Pirates, you return one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less to its owner's hand. What does that actually mean? It means you reveal 2 Whitebeard Pirates from your hand, and then you put them back into your hand. They go back into your hand. You're good. Now, Edward Newgate is one of my favourite cards from the new set. It's got an on-play whereby if your leader is Whitebeard Pirates and you have 2 or less life, until the end of your opponent's next turn, all of their characters cannot attack unless they discard 2 cards from their hand. It's pretty nasty. What if they play a character with Rush? Can they attack? Yeah, same as we've seen already in this video. If a character comes in after the skill has been activated, they are not affected by the skill. So leaders can attack and Rush characters can attack. After activating this main effect, when my life is 3 or more, during my opponent's next turn my life becomes 2. Does that turn on Newgate's effect? No. Your opponent's characters can attack without discarding 2 cards from their hand. You have to have 2 or less life at the point Newgate is played. Sorry about that. King Dew comes around in this set of a new card. Activate main once per turn. Reveal 2 cards of Whitebeard Pirates in their type from your hand and then gain 2k. Same question as before, same answer. It means you show 2 cards and then they go back where they came from, which of course is your hand. Now, Thatch is another Whitebeard Pirate we've got. If this character is KO'd or leaves the field because of an opponent's effect, it goes into the trash instead, and you get to draw a card. Do you get on KO effects? No. Because you go to the trash instead of being KO'd, so any on KO effects, or when a character is KO'd effects, I should say, are not activated because technically the character was never actually KO'd. Pretty gosh darn close, but close, ladies and gentlemen, is not close enough. Now, Shaki Yaku has got a rather lovely skill. On your turn, once per turn, when a character leaves play from one of your effects, if your opponent's got 5 or more cards in hand, they put a card from their hand to the bottom of their deck, and then this gets rested. Can I activate this effect if my character is already rested? Yes. And the answer is, the reason is, because you place the card and then rest the character. Well, you place the card, you go to rest it, and then you go, oh no, you're fine. If it was in bold, rest this character, colon, blah, 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 then you would have to rest to activate the skill. Here you look afterwards. If you're already rested, you are fine. Now, Phoenix Seal is a new event card coming around in blue, and it's got another one of these things. You may reveal 2 cards of Whitebeard Pirates in your hand, and then place a 6 cost or lower character to the bottom of its owner's deck. What does that mean? It means you just show off 2 cards from your hand, and then put them back. Now, Charlotte Pudding, I have said, is probably the best leader in the set. I adore Charlotte Pudding, and it says that you may turn the top 2 cards of your life face up, and then add a Don card from your Don deck rested. Huge question, but we already know the answer. If one or both of the top 2 cards in my life is already face up, can I use this skill? No, of course you can't. Of course you can't. Lovely idea, but no, that was never going to work. Fun idea, was never, ever, ever going to work. Sorry about that. It would be amazing, but no, that would make it too good. Now, King is coming around and has a skill on play, Don -1. If your opponent's got 5 or more Don on their field, this character gains Rush. Well, if my opponent's got 5 or more Don, and I gain Rush, but then my opponent goes to 4 or less Don, can I still attack this turn? Yes. And it's a theme we see in all of these One Piece rulings. When you play King, Rush is activated, and it doesn't get taken away, even if the condition, your opponent has 5 or more Don, is no longer true. Now, there's a couple new Charlotte Katakuri in the set, but the one I want to talk about is the 6 cost. On play, you may flip the top card of your life face down to add a Don card from your Don deck and set it as active. And we saw this with Charlotte Pudding. What if the top card of your life is already face down? Well, yeah, you can't use this. You have to turn it face down to activate the skill. If you can't, gutted. Now, here is the huge ruling in this set. The one that is going to potentially change the game. The one that even if you haven't listened to all the others, and it'd be weird if we're 9.5 minutes in and you weren't listening to all the others, Black Maria. Activate main once per turn. If you don't have any other Black Maria, You add up to 5 Don from your Don deck rested, and then at the end of the turn you have to return them to your Don deck until you've got the same number as your opponent or less. What if you've got cards in play that have skills that activate when a Don card is returned to your Don deck? And I'm really thinking of stuff like Eustace Captain Kidd here, for instance. Once per turn, when a Don card on your field is returned to your Don deck, add a Don card from your Don deck active. Will those skills activate? Yes, they will, because Don is still being shuffled back in. So even though you have to shuffle some Don back in, skills that activate when you shuffle Don in, like Kidd, do activate. That is absolutely huge. That makes a gigantic difference, and it makes Black Maria somehow even better. Now, Kaido is a card I like very much. Activate main once per turn, discard a card from your hand. If this character was played this turn, trash a 7-cost or lower character, and then your opponent trashes a card from their hand. Can you use this after the first turn of the game? And the answer is yes, but basically you discard a card from your hand, and then you go, oh, the character wasn't played this turn, nothing else happens. So you can use this skill turn after turn to trash cards from your hand, and sometimes you want particular cards in the trash, and this can help to get them there. Now, Sasaki is another black card we get in this set. Activate main, you may rest one of your Don and this character, and then one of your opponent's characters gets -2 cost during this turn. And we saw this rule in the other day. Didn't we used to have this, where instead of you may rest one of your Don, there was a 1 in a little circle? Yes, but we had this the other day. They've changed it now, and I've looked through the whole set. There are no cards that have the number in the circle to say rest your Don. Now the card will literally say rest your Don instead. Staying with black, we've got Jack. Character has a static +4 cost. So does that mean you have to pay 11 from your hand? No. You pay 7 to play it from your hand, but once it's on the field, it's treated as an 11 cost, which can, of course, be relevant in some situations. Now, Kalgara is your yellow leader in the set, and has got Don X1 when attacking. Play a Shandorian Warriors character with a cost equal to or less than the number of your Don, and then if you did that, put a card from your life into your hand, the top card. When my life is 0 or less, can I use this? Yes. Because again, it comes to the order and the wording of the card. First, you play a character with a cost equal to or less than the number of your Don. Then you put a card on the top of your life into your hand. So if you've got 0 life, you use this, you play a character, you go to take the top card of your life and you go, gutted mate, I don't have any, and you carry on, but you've already played the character. Another very big ruling that makes this character significantly better. Now, Jewelry Bonnie has got a Don X1 on your turn once per turn. When your opponent loses a life, draw 2, trash 1. When my opponent's life is moved to the hand or trash by an opponent's effect, can I use this? Yeah. You're fine. As long as it's during your turn, you're absolutely fine. Doesn't matter how it goes there, as long as it does. And a couple quick more ones about Jewelry Bonnie as well, just while we're here. So, what happens if your opponent doesn't lose life, but I look at my opponent's life, reveal my opponent's life, or rearrange their life? Do I get to activate Bonnie's skill, draw 2, trash 1? No. Because your opponent's not losing life. During my turn, my opponent uses an effect to add a life to their hand and then a card to their life, one of those skills that swaps life around. Then can I get to use a skill? Yes. Yes, you absolutely can. Sure, they're ending on the same number of life that they had before, but there is still a point where a life is taken, and therefore this skill will absolutely activate. Now, S-Hawk has a skill, Don X1, if your life is less than your opponent's, has to be less, not less than or equal to, this character gains 2,000 power and cannot be KO'd in battle by cards with a / attribute. What if it's not in battle with characters of a slash attribute? Don't worry your pretty little head about it. You still get the extra power. Yay! Now, Silver's Rally is a very exciting card from the new set. A little bit wordy, but what we've got with Silver's Rally is, on play, choose 2 of your opponent's characters, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, one gets minus 3k, one gets minus 2k, and then you KO a 3k or lower. Okay, can I choose different characters for the minus 3k, the minus 2k, and then the one getting KO'd? Yeah, of course you can. You're good. The one that is KO'd does not have to have their power lowered. You lower 2, and then you KO. So there we go. There's the rulings. That's what you need to know. Some of these are really, really big. The Black Maria ruling is huge. The Calgara ruling is very, very big and very, very important. Several of these will make a difference in games. And like I always say, if you're going to play the game, you need to know the rules. But now hopefully you do know the rules, because I've told you the rules and now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these rulings make sense. Tell me if any don't. Ask any questions you've got. Tell me what you're going to be playing in OP-08. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio. where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.